Hello, welcome in. Happy Sunday, everybody. Super Bowl Sunday. Hopefully y'all are doing well. Let me know in the comments how you guys are doing. It is I can't believe it, last day of football until, I guess I mean we still stream, but there'll be no football streams with games going on. Obviously, we'll talk about free agency and all that stuff, the draft, combine, all that stuff, but no football games until preseason, man. I mean, it's gonna be a long time off. Maybe we might cover a little UFL when that starts up, but yeah. Super Bowl Sunday. We also have our first golf sweat of the year. We kind of the other what was that, 2 weeks ago or so? 2 or 3 weeks ago. We had Gerard and Jason Day both cash us pretty nice for their top fives, but that was when Justin Rose ran away with the tournament, so they really didn't have any chance to win. Maverick McNeely won back coming into today in the final group, so we have we got a nice chance here today. Hope that would be just a great way to just go right from Mav cashing that into the Super Bowl would just be electric. The last time we did that was 2022, I think. We had Scotty Scheffler to win this tournament, and he did win that. That was before the Rams and Bengals Super Bowl, if you guys remember that. But that was the last time that we did that. But hopefully Mav cashes for us, and we take that right into the Super Bowl. So I'm gonna go through the game, and then we'll kind of talk picks and just overall my thoughts on the game. My blog is posted for free on the website, which I have pulled up on my screen. I will drop the link to that in the chat as well. If you guys are on YouTube, it should pop into the chat right there. So overall, this is such a weird Super Bowl, in my opinion. Since I've started covering sports, so I would say 9 years. I'm trying to pull up I want to look at some of these Super Bowls that we've gone through. So I'll give you 9 years. So we'll go back to 20. The first one that I remember covering from a content perspective was when the Philly special, Eagles over the Patriots. So that was 2018. So that was a really high scoring, fun game. I was on the Eagles in that one to cover the spread. They obviously won outright. And then the next year, 2019, Rams Patriots, just a stinker, 13-3. That game sucked. Definitely the worst Super Bowl in recent memory for me, for sure. That was a terrible game. Was not fun to watch. Nothing going on. And then Kansas City, obviously getting their first over the Niners. Tom Brady beating Mahomes the next year. Rams Bengals. We hit Cooper Kupp MVP in that Rams Bengals game. And then Chiefs over the Eagles. I was on the wrong side of that one. I had Eagles stuff. Chiefs won 38-35. And then the next year, I was on Kansas City when they beat San Francisco for the second time. I was in Vegas for that. And then last year, so this is definitely the weirdest Super Bowl that I can remember of just it being two unknown teams. So I put this in my blog post here, but this is two guys that had neither Sam Darnold or Drake May had ever even won a playoff game until this season, and now they're facing off in the Super Bowl. This is also the first time since 2003 that we're getting two teams in the Super Bowl that neither of them made the playoffs the year previous. A lot of people have hammered, and me too. I've talked about this on my streams over the last few months of the Patriots playing this very, very easy schedule. If you look at some of the advanced metrics on their schedule, it's basically the easiest schedule that we've seen, since like the year 2000. Like it was an extremely easy schedule for the New England Patriots, but you can only play who is in front of you, like it's tough to kind of figure out how you want to evaluate that properly. And I don't think you can knock on the Patriots for the ease of their schedule and then not do the same for the Seahawks. Because if you look at who the Seahawks played down the stretch of the season, basically since like Thanksgiving, they played, the Titans, who were not good. They played Max Brosmer at home, and that was Brosmer's first start. They played the Atlanta Falcons, like kind of post Michael Penix injury. Drake London was hurt and did not play in that game. They played Phillip Rivers' first game back in like 4 years, 5 years, whatever it was, at home. Then they played the Rams, a good, respectable team. Have nothing bad to say there. The Panthers, okay. Bryce Young, 54 yards and 1 pick in that game. Did literally nothing. And then they played the Niners twice, who, the Niners were extremely banged up by this end point of the season here. And then they played the Rams again. So, I mean, yes, they beat the Rams twice. I have nothing bad to say about that. But it's not like they've played this gauntlet schedule. Sam Darnold, in the games that they've played really good defenses, he has struggled. The Seahawks beat the Texans 27-19, but Sam Darnold in that game, 213 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 pick. Nothing super inspiring there. The Vikings, they beat the Vikings 26-0. So I don't really want to weigh his stat line in that because he just wasn't needed to do anything whatsoever. But when he played like a respectable defense, his numbers weren't overly impressive. And that's kind of been the case for his entire career. I think this is far and away the hardest defense that Sam Darnold's faced, probably since he played the Texans, which was all the way back on October 20th. So, and the Texans, while their defense is very good, really nothing on offense that you're terrified of. I don't really think personally that DeMeco Ryans is that great of a coach. So if we're going to weigh out just like head coach, offense, defense tandem, this is definitely the best team he's faced in a long time, because the Rams, even the last 2 weeks ago when they played in the NFC Championship game, we've talked about that on stream as well, of the Rams secondary has been really bad for the last month and a half. Like, I don't think that was anywhere close to the defense that he's going to face today. So this is, it's kind of an unknown how he's going to perform. And then on the flip side, Drake May has taken a lot of heat for how he's performed in these playoff games. Big step up in competition for him from what they played in the regular season to the postseason. Also some pretty bad weather games as well. Like, think about the Denver game, and even the Houston game wasn't bad weather, but it's cold. It's not ideal conditions like he's going to play in today. So we have a lot of unknowns when we're looking at just these two teams from a higher level. If we want to boil it down to just the game itself, has anyone in the chat really seen anyone giving out Patriots tickets? I mean, honestly, what would you guys say is the split between the Patriots and the Seahawks in terms of people giving out picks and bets? It appears to me, both with the content that I've seen and the betting splits, that people are very, very overconfident that the Seattle Seahawks are going to win this game, no problem. They're getting almost 60% of the bets on the spread. Around the same percentage of the money has come in on them. And I don't really know, like, content that I've seen, I haven't really seen anyone giving out New England Patriots, to be quite honest with you. So I think people are very overconfident that the Seahawks are just going to win this game. To just start things off, I am on the Patriots plus 4.5, and it's a pretty big bet for me. Probably like close to a 3-unit play for me. So Patriots plus 4.5 is a pretty big play for me, and I'm going to be on the Patriots tonight. I think the Patriots win the game. I think it's going to be a close game, and that would play into the favor of the New England Patriots as well. So Patriots plus 4.5 from a game perspective is my pick, and I think that I could see them winning the game outright. I don't know if I'll sprinkle a little bit on the money line or not, but another trend that I highlighted as well in this blog post, if you look at the last, I'm trying to figure out where I wrote that at. The winning team, and this is in the entire Super Bowl. So I'm not making this down to like last 5 years, last 10 years. If you look at the entire history of Super Bowl games, the teams that win cover their spread 85% of the time. So that would mean, obviously if the Patriots win, they're going to cover because they're underdogs. But if you think Seattle's going to win the game, they're probably going to cover that 4.5. And that's held up 85% of the time throughout Super Bowl history. But I might sprinkle a little bit on the Patriots money line, but I do have them plus 4.5 for a pretty big pick. As far as props and stuff goes, if you're in the chat, let me know your favorite prop pick. I'm curious what some of you guys are on here. Someone give me some prop picks that you like. We'll talk touchdowns as well. Obviously, you guys know I love my touchdown picks. I don't think either team is going to be able to run the ball here. And that's really going to affect things. First of all, we know how good Seattle's defense is, right? Like, I don't need to overstate that. And I do think New England will, not be able to run the ball probably to the extent that they want to. On the flip side, I don't think Seattle will also be able to run the ball the way they want to. Milton Williams is a really big X factor for me in this game. I thought he was one of the MVPs of the Philadelphia Eagles Super Bowl run last year. That version of the Eagles defense was so extremely good at all levels and the way that they were playing. It's tough to take and isolate one player because they have tons of great players on that defense. But Milton Williams is a really, really big X factor for me. And I think you saw the loss of him this year for the Eagles. I think losing him really did affect, their defense. So as far as he goes, Seattle has really good outside tackle play. They can give up pressure up the middle. Sam Darnold in his career has struggled when that pressure has come up the middle. So I'm really looking for Milton Williams to have a big impact on this game, not only with applying that pressure to Sam Darnold, but what he does in the run game is huge as well. So I actually did take Milton Williams to record a sack. I think he got a sack last game. He's not like a huge sack guy, but he did get a sack last game. It was around 2-1. So I like Milton Williams' sack on the Patriots side of the ball, but I think he's going to be a huge X factor in this game. And if these two teams struggle to run the ball, who do you like? Let's just paint that game script. Seattle can't run the ball. New England can't run the ball. Who do you trust to make more plays between Drake May and Sam Darnold? Like, if you honest to God are saying Sam Darnold, there's just no way that you believe that. There's no way. Yeah, Ryan, I'm gonna take both. Melissa, king of the end zone pick, I will give out as well. I just saw that message, but I'll take both, Ryan, to be honest. I like him. I think he's like 2-1 for a full sack, and then his line is, 0.25 or whatever. I'm good with both of those. But I don't trust Sam Darnold to make plays if things break down to the extent that Drake May can. And that's just because Drake May is so mobile and can run. I know a lot of people, I've heard this on so many radio shows and stuff all week, that the Seahawks don't give up any rushing production to quarterbacks. Nobody runs against them. You also have to take that stuff with a grain of salt and look at the quarterbacks that they face. Are any of those guys really running like capable of running to the extent of Drake May. Like is Aaron, like I'm just looking through the schedule. Aaron Rodgers, Spencer Rattler, right? Max Brosmer, Phillip Rivers, Cam Ward, Matt Stafford, Kirk Cousins. Like are those guys capable of running the way that Drake May is? No. So Lex, no, your messages are not hidden. I can see them. So I think I trust Drake May to make plays off scripted more than I trust Sam Darnold. And that's a big factor for me in this game. As far as Guru, you said May rushing. Yes, I'm interested. I haven't played anything. You guys know I took Drake May touchdown each of the last 2 games. He did finally score for us last game. I didn't take it in this one, but I do like that look 100%. Lex, I want to come back to your call there for a touchdown. I want to talk about that. I want to talk about that. Shane, 100% Sam has better weapons. I do agree with that. Which we can talk about that too. Like if we want to look at the weaponry, and this will transition into the touchdown picks I like. Because if we look at the Patriots offense, they just don't have the playmaking on the outside to test the back end of the Seahawks secondary. They just don't, like they don't have what can really hurt them on the back end, in my opinion. And a lot of teams don't. That's why the Seahawks defense is so good. And that's why all of the production against the Seahawks comes from tight ends and running backs. That's it. They're so good against receivers. And, they just don't have, in my opinion, the mix of what you're looking for on the outside to kind of get after the back end of this secondary. Basically, Puka is the only guy that can really get loose right now against this Seahawks secondary this year. So with that being said, I've talked about it on stream. Like you go back to week 1. I talked about how last year, Mike McDonald's defense, you really wanted to take tight ends against them. And that was the case again this year. I mean, if you just look at, targets, they're top 5 in targets allowed to tight ends. They're top 5 in receptions allowed to tight ends. They're pretty high up there. Top 6 in yards allowed as well. Only give up 6 touchdowns, though, which is middle of the pack. But I think that attributes more to, just how good the defense is as a whole. Like there's not giving up touchdowns at the rate that some of these other teams are. But you can certainly get loose against them with tight ends. And that makes sense because they play pretty much exclusively zone coverage. They play 2 high safety. They sit back. They make you beat them underneath. They'll willingly give up those check downs and, ones over the middle of the field, short little ones. So, it's really the tight ends and then the running backs. So we look at running backs, targets allowed. Seattle Seahawks have given up the most targets allowed to running backs this season by 11. It's not even close. They've given up the most receptions. They've given up like the 6th most yards. Again, not a lot of touchdowns allowed out of the backfield, but that just speaks to their defense not allowing touchdowns as a whole anyways. But it's running backs and it's tight ends, and that's where you want to look at. And I see Gio has mentioned this as well here. So let me give you guys my theory on this game because I have 2 touchdowns that I like, one of which I gave out in this blog here, and we'll talk about. But I have another one that I like. So let me just paint a picture for the chat here. There's one player on the Patriots that I swear to God, I have seen everybody on this guy. I have seen every person on this guy, touchdown, yards, receptions, any which way. I have seen people betting on this man. Does anyone in the chat know who this is? He is a pass catcher on the Patriots. And I haven't consumed a piece of content or saw a tweet giving out picks, and this guy wasn't featured. Yes, it is Hunter Henry. Whoever said that is correct. Yes. Hunter Henry is every single person wants to bet on Hunter Henry. And that's because people know that Seattle struggles against tight ends. It's Hunter Henry. So here's my theory. Vegas is not paying out this Hunter Henry every single person in the world has bet this. People are going to go to Super Bowl parties tonight that don't watch football and don't bet, and they're going to join in on the fun with everybody, and they're going to bet on Hunter Henry because whoever's hosting the party is like, dude, we're on Hunter Henry. Like, you got to put this in. Every single person is betting Hunter Henry today. So what is going to happen in this game? Drake May is going to drop back, and he is going to throw the ball, and he's going to be wide open. He's going to catch the ball and score. Everyone at these Super Bowl parties across the country, they're going to be celebrating, going crazy, throwing nachos in the air, whatever they're eating. And they're going to be just hyping up their boy like, you called it, Hunter Henry. Dude, I can't believe you called that. And they're so focused on the fact that this white tight end just scored. They're not even going to notice that it's number 81 and it's not number 85. And it's going to be Austin Hooper is going to score this touchdown. I'm telling you guys that I refuse to believe Vegas is going to pay out this Hunter Henry touchdown when I have seen every single person take this. This would be a classic Super Bowl troll for Austin Hooper to score instead of Hunter Henry. And they look exactly like they're just white tight ends. They're both 80. Austin Hooper's 81. Hunter Henry's 85. So it might be like a weird angle where he's at the camera, like you just see the 8 and everyone's going to go crazy, and then he's going to fall down. It's going to be 81, and people are going to the talking point at work tomorrow. You're going to get those casual people that come into work, and they're going to be like, dude, I would have won so much money if it was Hunter Henry instead of Hooper, man. Like, should have picked the backup tight end. I can just see this happening. So I am going to be on the Austin Hooper touchdown. So Lex called that out in chat. Geo Secret Service agent, he called that out in chat as well. 100%. Austin Hooper, plus 850 anytime touchdown. First touchdown is pretty high as well. I think he was like 35, or no, it was actually 40-1 on Bet365. So yeah, I like the Austin Hooper look, trying to get a little cheeky. And I like the Trevion Henderson value as well. So these are not popular touchdown picks. Like, I don't know if there's anyone else that's giving out Trevion Henderson and Austin Hooper as their touchdown picks, but that's what I like. That's where I think the value is today. That's what I'm rocking with. 5-1 for Trevion Henderson is insane. I know he played 4 snaps last game. I don't care. It was a blizzard game. Even though Ramondre Stevenson has had fumble issues in his career, but when you're in a must-win game, it didn't start the game in bad conditions. It just came on during the game. You're not going to be doing stuff you're not comfortable with in that game setting. So it's not surprising that Ramondre Stevenson really, really, was the focal point of that game. And they really didn't do anything offensively in the entire second half because of the weather. They just, ran the ball a couple times, punted, played field position. So I'm not worried about him only playing 4 snaps last game. I'm not concerned. Extra week to prepare. Like I just said, they don't have playmaking on the outside to really do anything. Like, they're going to need to get the ball in the hands of people that are explosive. Trevion Henderson is basically the most explosive player that they have on offense. So again, I don't think he's going to play ahead of Stevenson or anything. That's not what I'm saying. I don't even think it'll be 50-50, but I definitely think you're going to get a couple schemed up plays for him. I could see him getting involved in the screen game, especially going back to what I just said with the Seahawks allowing all that production to running backs out of the backfield. Stevenson can get loose in the passing game as well, but I like Trevion Henderson for the value. So I did take him anytime first touchdown. I don't really think he can score the first touchdown personally, but it's just a sprinkle. And then I took Trevion Henderson 2+ touchdowns, 65-1 on Bet365. So Trevion Henderson and Austin Hooper are my 2 touchdown picks. Kobe Bryant, Elijah Arroyo, I don't know if he will be active or not. I'm trying to figure that out. Yeah, I mean, I could see it, but I don't love it, Lex. Barner has another path to score other than being a receiver just because they'll run the tush push with him. And speaking of that, I got to give you guys another big bet for me, which we'll talk about. Yeah, 50-1, even better. Perfect. So yeah, I definitely sprinkled that. Seattle's really good at scoring the first touchdown in their games. They start fast, but that's okay. That's okay. And these are not big bets. These touchdowns are not big bets for me. They're high value, so you don't need to bet a lot on them. You're getting 5-1 and 850 for Hooper. So if you bet, like, these are small bets, and you're going to get pretty nice payouts on them. Speaking of the tush push, this is my favorite bet. Every single year, this is my favorite bet to make. I make it every single year in the Super Bowl. And I've talked about this on stream last week, but a lot of you probably were not in that stream. So this is my biggest bet tonight, other than the Patriots to cover 4.5. I played that for almost 3 units. I also played this for almost 3 units. So let me paint the picture for you here. We're going to be taking, and this is on DraftKings, if you go under game props, shortest touchdown under 1.5 yards, it's minus 130 odds. So that is essentially, you are betting on there to be a 1-yard touchdown scored in this game. This 1-yard touchdown, you would think that that's very unlikely to happen. It has happened over 65% of the time since the year 2000 in the Super Bowl. If we isolate the last 10 years, which I like to do because of how they call pass interferences in the more modern NFL, you do get pass interference deep down the field, end zone, all that stuff. So over the last 10 Super Bowls, going back to 2016, the 1-yard touchdown has hit in 8 of those 10 Super Bowls. In the 2 Super Bowls that it did not hit, there was a 2-yard touchdown scored in both of those games. So it missed by 1 yard. It's also hit in 4 of the last 5 Super Bowls. The one miss being the Chiefs and the Niners game 2 years ago in Vegas. There was like a 3-yard touchdown scored or something, or 2-yard touchdown scored in that game. So 1-yard touchdown, minus 130, 8 of the last 10 years, 4 of the last 5. It's my favorite bet every single season. And then it doesn't matter what team scores it. You're just rooting for a 1-yard touchdown. So that is a pretty big bet for me as well. I'm really hoping. I also I don't think he can win MVP, but I did sprinkle Henderson Super Bowl MVP 125-1 on FanDuel. If it's a low-scoring game and he did score 2 touchdowns, he might have a crack at it. 125-1 is good odds. But as I noted in this blog right here, 2 wide receivers have won Super Bowl MVP in the last 8 years. No running back has won it since 1998. So that is not a very likely thing. That's why it's 125-1. He's also the backup running back. So, but the Patriots have had a backup running back that should have won Super Bowl MVP before, and that being James White. The year that they came back on the Falcons, James White was robbed of that Super Bowl MVP. They just gave it to Tom Brady. That about does it for touchdowns for me. I like those 2 value. If we're looking for outside of that, I mean, I guess like Shaheed, you could talk me into, but I don't really like anything on the Seattle side because I'm not laying minus 185 with Kenneth Walker. And then if JSN was like plus 110, I'd say maybe you could consider it because he's definitely the most likely guy in my opinion. But I just don't see any value on the Seattle side of things, to be honest with you. Like Cooper Kupp should not be 270 to score. He should be like 4-1. That is negative value in my opinion. And even Shaheed should be 4-1 in my opinion. You're getting him a little bit below that, but I don't know. I don't like anything. Actually, if I had to pick someone on Seattle, it'd be Barner, just with that tush push kind of equity, to be quite honest with you. That's probably where I'd pick. But Henderson and Hooper, my only touchdown plays in this game. Anytime first touchdown, took Henderson 2+. Patriots plus 4.5, and the 1-yard touchdown. Those are my biggest bets. And then I gave out the Milton Williams sack as well. As far as other props go, I like looking at the under receiving stuff. FanDuel does not have this in my area, but if you guys have access to those kind of combo rushing yards, so you could get like Kenneth Walker and Ramondre Stevenson over or under a certain amount of yards, I would be down, to take the under on the combined yards between Henderson and Stevenson. Not Henderson, between Stevenson and Kenneth Walker, both starting running backs to go under whatever their combined rushing is. I would be fine taking that. Yes, Jim, great point. Shop around for odds. Yeah, I like the receiving angle for Henderson also, like we talked about. So, like you said here, his line is 4.5 receiving yards. I think it's, what is it on DraftKings? Let me see. Let's see, receiving props. Go over under. Yeah, 5.5. I see 5.5 on DK. Yeah, Melissa. So that's under. So if you go on DraftKings, if you go under, like go into the game, like click on the game, and then scroll on the bar where it's like popular game lines, TD scorers, all that stuff. Go all the way over to game props. It's one of the last sections on that bar up there. And then once you're into game props, there's a section that says touchdown props. And then you can scroll down a ways under that, and it's shortest touchdown, I'm pretty sure. So it's under 1.5. I'm trying to see if I can see it on this thing here. Trying to find it on my computer screen real quick. So yeah, it's under that. So go into the touchdown props, and then there's longest touchdown, like to be scored. There's longest touchdown over 35 or under 35.5 yards, and then a little bit below that, shortest touchdown yards under 1.5 minus 130. So game props and then touchdown props, and that's where that can be located. Yeah, Jim, I like that as a ladder too, to be honest with you. So you're talking about the higher odds on the alternates, which I like too. I like him just over 4.5 as well. Oh, also, I like Austin Hooper over 7.5 yards as well. That's on FanDuel, 7.5 receiving yards for Austin Hooper. I will be taking that. If we look at, also to just kind of hearken with the Austin Hooper hype, Austin Hooper is from California. He's not from the Bay Area, but I think pretty close. He went to Stanford. So a little bit of a homecoming game for our man, 81. For reference, and I know this is very elementary stat, but Austin Hooper's averaging 12.5 yards per reception this season. So if he catches a pass, he may not catch a pass. If he catches a pass, it's very likely to be over that 7.5 line. So if I'm looking at it like, if we just look at he's only had one game this season where he caught a pass. Actually, two times he caught a 5-yard pass. Every other game that he registered a pass, he would have cashed that over. So 7.5 yards looks pretty good to me. And I do like the Henderson ladder receiving yards as well. I could see going Diggs receptions potentially. I don't know what that line is. Let me see. 4.5. Just with how the Seahawks scheme and how I anticipate the Patriots to attack them, I could see him racking up. He might not have a ton of yards, but I could see him racking up 5 or 6 catches. Didn't play that, but I don't mind it. I honestly like the under. I'm trying to see. I could see taking JSN's under and just like for receiving yards and just hoping like the Patriots sell out everything to stop him. Because that's a pretty high receiving line, what I'm seeing here. I want to see what like the best line would be to get in on that though. This app is so slow, I swear. Is there any better lines than that? Like, I think it's like 92 on FanDuel. Yeah, 92 and a half. It's actually 91 and a half on FanDuel, 93 and a half on DK. I could see taking the under 93 and a half yards on Jackson Smith and Jigba and just hoping he finishes with like 75 yards. And then like Guru said, I do think the Drake May rushing angle is interesting. I didn't take anything there, but yeah. And for touchdown jackpot, if you guys are playing that, or king, not touchdown jackpot, but the king of the end zone on DraftKings, the long one. Henderson would be my pick for that. Like he could catch a screen and rip off a long play. And I don't think a lot of people will be playing him, so you have a good chance at getting some actual decent bonus bets off that. I wrote it in this blog, but obviously way different situation and scenario. But Trevion Henderson, did take a screen 70 yards to the house in the national championship game against Notre Dame when he was at Ohio State. So maybe we could see a similar play tonight. Just a little screen slips through, missed tackle. They're playing on grass, not turf, so we do have some slipping potential from the defenders here playing on the grass field. Maybe we get lucky. Most likely game script. And this will answer your question too, Ryan, about the total. I just think it's going to be a low-scoring game. I don't see how these two teams, given what we've seen from them offensively versus what we've seen from them defensively, I just don't see it. I don't see how this is like a shootout personally, and I could be completely wrong in that. And if I'm wrong, I'll come on stream tomorrow and be like, yeah, I did not see that coming. But I think it has to be a low-scoring game, and I think the Patriots have the edge in that. More experienced head coach, quarterback more capable of making, plays with his legs. I also think they're a little bit more aggressive than Seattle is. So I think we see a low scoring game. And that's why I have the Patriots 24-23. I'll probably do some exact scores just for fun. Let me see what 24-23 would pay. Where's that at? Scoring probably? Yeah, here we go. So Patriots 24, Seahawks 23. What is this? This is final score squares. I don't want that. I just want Okay, I don't know where that is, but I'll take a look at that later. We had Seahawks most sacks minus 222 a parlay. I don't know. I haven't researched like the defensive side of things enough. Obviously, just thinking it through, like that would make sense because of the Patriots offensive line issues, but I don't know. That seems a little dicey for me to lay 220 on it. All right. Overall, thank you guys so much for tuning in all season. Best season we've ever had. I've been doing this for a long time. Best season we've ever had in terms of viewership. And that all goes to you guys. I really appreciate each and every one of you that watches the streams. Obviously, like I've had the kind of family stuff going on. So the weekday streams will be getting back, to more consistent soon. I will be live tomorrow to recap the game, obviously, and kind of we'll take a look at the free agents impending and all that stuff. But good luck tonight if you're betting. Good luck if you're playing DFS. I will obviously be playing some daily fantasy as well. I will tweet out the full betting card in a little bit. So if you join stream late or if you are not even watching the stream at all, I don't know why I'm telling you this, but the full betting card I will tweet out in a little bit before the game. Maverick McNeely should be teeing off in about an hour, so shout out to him. Hopefully he brings home an outright winner for us, leading right into the Super Bowl. But good luck tonight with your bets, your DFS teams. I'll be live tomorrow to recap it. Betting card will be coming out in a little bit. Blog is up for free on the website. Good luck, and I will see everyone tomorrow.